And we're back.
All right. That's okay. We're still live, and it is recording at this point. All right. So apologize for the technical difficulties there. There's a certain word that YouTube doesn't want us to say. And unfortunately, it was accidentally said earlier. That's okay. And so YouTube killed the stream for us. But we are back.
I'm your algorithm.
Whenever people say AI is going to take over the world, it just makes me think of moments like these. So,
AI will take over the world. The problem is AI is dumb.
The problem is AI will kill our live streams for no reason.
Yeah.
So we hopefully can get back the footage that we just lost, but very, very quickly, just in case that doesn't happen. What are we doing on the 18th again? We're doing a thing to raise money for something else.
Yes. We're doing FoamFest live, online version of the FoamFest convention, mirroring the actual convention. It's going to be awesome. We're hoping to raise lots of money for Off the Record Bristol. So please join us Saturday, the 18th of April.
We're going to have lots of different sections throughout the day with lots of guests and guest hosts and chatting to people, and we'll have people recording videos to send to us that we can play back. We've got adverts from our sponsors coming in that are going to be fun and stuff as well. And yeah, it's going to be another whole day of live streamed Nerf chat going on.
And I'm pretty sure everybody in this current stream is going to be involved in that event in some way, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So awesome. Yeah, so we definitely are
and a
looking
lot
forward
of
to
the
that.
people that we've heard from actually, over the last many hours are going to be involved in FoamFest as well, but it will be slightly different. So it's not going to be more of the same, but some of the same faces. And there'll be a lot more of the UK community involved and the European community involved. And the most important thing for us actually is that we're using this time as a community to get together to raise money for a youth charity. That's kind of.
And Off the Record is an amazing charity that does a lot of incredibly good work in and around the Bristol area. And I'm personally very, pumped to be part of it. I was part of the FoamFest last year and it was amazing. It's only sad that we don't get to do it in person, but we're going to do our absolute best to make it as an enjoyable event as possible, despite the fact that we're all stuck at home.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
I will say it's been really
Stay
sort
home,
of nice
fling
sitting.
foam.
Yeah, yeah. It's been really nice kind of sitting here, kind of working on stuff with the live streams going on in the background. It has been like being at a mod party. He says, having never actually been to one in his life.
Want to give a shout out to Boff from BoffTac as well. He's our kind of behind the scenes wizard, doing a lot of work on the FoamFest Live.
All the technical stuff.
But he's also a kind of frontline medical
Key worker
as well. And he's in his day job. It's out there every day doing a hard job. And then at night,
Right on.
Work behind the scenes for FoamFest as well. So big shout out to Boff.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I've got another project here that somebody posted over in the Facebook group. And this is from Blake Salisbury. It is a rapid red, and it is running Fang revamps spinning worker wheels in a 42 millimeter cage. Got some close-up images here. He's got it painted up, and it's got a worker. I think that's a worker 22 mag, but I can't tell because we can't see the bottom of the image. But it looks like a worker logo on it. And then if we scroll down here, we can see the interior, and it is very clean, looking very clean.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a bad Rapid Red. They're just awesome looking blasters, no matter what you do to them.
I know that this
they are just. Sorry, go on, Ben.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I know that this is Mel's favorite blaster, right? Isn't it?
It's one of them.
One of them.
I mean, the Rebel line is so beautiful to paint, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I right in thinking, because I've never. Sorry, I've never played with one of these. Am I right in thinking they're basically a strife internally, but obviously they have a much nicer shell?
Yeah,
yes, it is internally a strife.
Slightly different layout from the strife inside, but it's essentially is. But yeah, I mean, as someone who's painted literally hundreds of blasters, Rebel ones are just still the best.
Yeah.
Well, I've painted more Rebel blasters than anything else.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
they do make really nice paint jobs, don't they?
They do.
Yeah, Pirate Johnson says Rapid Reds are the best strife.
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
Can I just answer a question that came up on YouTube from Gainsey? He was just asking if Foam Fest is going to return to Bristol next year so that people can experience, because there are some fantastic games that go on in Bristol. There's Bristol Blast, which is a chapel game, and FFS, which is a Ultrastock game. And the answer is we don't actually know yet. We haven't quite decided. It's a possibility, and as soon as we kind of figure that out, we'll let everyone know.
Can we get this one out of the way first?
I just wanted to answer it before it disappeared.
No,
yeah,
absolutely.
So I'm going through, and while you guys are talking, I'm just going through and seeing what other things people have posted here. Oh, this is going to be a good one. Let me get this opened full size so we can take a look at it.
Oh, yeah, no, I've seen this. This
looking at that one
this
today.
Gary Ashby does some beautiful work. I've seen some of his other stuff, and he does beautiful work.
Can't see it.
Yeah, once it loads up here, we'll take a look at it. I'm loading the mobile version of Facebook so we can actually see it full size. Big Tendy says you skipped mine. Which one was yours? Let me know. I'll go back. There were a couple there that didn't have a lot of information, so I kind of showed them on screen for a little while and then kept moving.
Suez12 says Foam Fest in Copenhagen next year.
One day. Maybe not next year.
Okay, so Big Tendy's his post was this video, which is probably going to be terrible on trying to stream it multiple times to get it over to YouTube. But let me see if I can get it to play here.
Everyone cross your fingers.
And I don't think the audio is going to come through either, because the screen capture's probably not doing that.
We can see it though.
Yeah.
So it's a break action revolver.
Yeah, no, the way that he's doing
it's
this,
flywheel powered.
Yeah, it's a flywheel the world powered revolver. It's an internal drum. It's fed like a hurricane. So instead of it having to do the rotation, which is the problem that you get with the Viper, because you've got those two 3D printed surfaces meshing together, all of the movement is done by a drum spring, and it's all internal to the magazine.
Very cool. I would love to see some pictures of that.
Yeah.
It's an intriguing solution to the rotation problem.
Yeah. There's a comment there from Joe Santos of what about the black box? I don't know if you saw that. It was a little black box with a flywheel cage and lipo in it, and the hand feeds the darts.
Oh, I haven't seen that on here.
I just wanted to say to him, if he's listening, that I absolutely love that, and totally going to steal that idea and make one. So I think it's hilarious.
I think I saw it the other day. If it's the one I'm thinking of, it's literally just a black plastic box that with a flywheel cage and battery inside, and there's like a switch on the outside.
Yeah.
If it comes up, we'll take a look at it if it's on the stream here. But the immediate idea I had was add one of those little vape pen juice containers onto the top of it, and it looks like a box mod vape pen thing. And then you could be shooting darts out of that, and it looks like you're vaping.
Oh.
If I wanted to look like I was vaping.
Why would anyone want to do that?
I'm totally going to make one. Maybe even stick a handle on it and just run around hand feeding darts into it from a dump pouch. That'd be brilliant.
Don't use vape batteries for Nerf kids. It's bad.
So this is Gary Ashby's post. It's the HECS10 V2. Okay, let's figure out what's going on here because he didn't post a lot of information. What do you guys think?
That's a Hyperfire with the Modulus ECS10 integration, and there's a bunch of 3D printed additional parts on the external. There are further posts further back which shows the build process. It's got some beautiful LED work in it as well.
Yeah, I can see he's got a video posted here. I'm guessing it's a firing demo, but you can see the LEDs up there around the cage area.
Yeah,
some purple, maybe UV LEDs.
It's so pretty.
It is. It's very beautiful. I especially like the scope he's got on there, which I'm gonna assume is not like an actual super expensive scope, but it just looks like an ACOG. But yeah, it is very cool looking, for sure.
Yeah. Also, the funniest thing is it's Hyperfire and it's got 6 clip in it.
Yeah. I'm sure that's for display.
Yeah.
Yeah, stick a modular, stick a 50 round drum on it, and then we'll talk.
Yeah.
There you go, the Titan 50 round drum.
Yeah, that's another project I've got. I've got a Titan that my friends bought me for Christmas that is currently sitting on the wall in the workshop, and because I definitely want to paint it and I definitely want to use it, but I want to do it. I want to do it justice as well. It's always the difficult part with these things.
Yeah. Well, here we have a Raven mod, and let's see. He says he's got an out-of-dart switch plate 16 gauge wire because that's what he was able to get from Lowe's. This is from Christopher. I'm not going to attempt that last name. Sorry, Chris. Not so sure about adding new switches till I saw the video of his switch plates. Yes, I agree. I have used the out-of-dart switch plate for 2 different Ravens, and I always use them for my strifes as well. They're perfect.
I mean, this is absolutely talking. You see, I'm hoping that we'll still be able to get the footage from the previous video where we talked about this, but that shows all of the space that you have in the back there to put a battery into. Basically, just take a very fine sort of Dremel bit, trim out the stock, and you can actually put the wiring and insert it there, and you just use little dinky magnets, I don't have mine to hand, but yeah, just little dinky button magnets, and just magnetize the whole thing on. Solves the fact that the Raven's battery door in the battery compartment is comically small for any kind of LiPo upgrade.
Yeah. You need the Blaster Smith battery tray, and that makes it huge.
Say that one again, mate.
The Blaster Smith's battery tray for the Raven is like this. It's like the Strife one, the big blocky one, but it makes the battery tray huge.
Yeah, it's this is definitely a simpler but very clean mod, and it looks good. I like it.
Very clean. Yeah.
So a couple things really quick that people are posting in the chat. Let's see. Someone says, do you have any suggestions for a Knight Rider style LED setup? This is from Spencer Nichols. Probably an Arduino is going to be involved in that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, to get them to pulse in that fashion, you'd probably need to go for Arduino. Yeah, get some
we've got
red resin parts from Biggs.
We've got a question in the YouTube chat from Spencer Nichols about Knight Rider style LED setup. Where I'm assuming that when you mean sort of blinky back and forth type thing.
Yeah.
I think the answer to that is an Arduino, and more than that, you're going to need to ask somebody who's cleverer than me. Ow!
Yes, Arduino. And get some red resin cast parts from Biggs ND.
Definitely. Yep. All right. So this is a post from Mitch. Let's see, Mitch Parker, and he's got a K26 in the takedown, and it's getting 140 feet per second. Looks like a sleeper to me because I don't see any sort of external cosmetic mods. And then this Big Shock, or that's not a Big Shock. What is that? Is that a Big Shock?
That's a Big Shock.
Okay, yeah. I'm confusing it with the Hot Shock. So the Big Shock has a CPVC barrel in it, and I think he said he's getting 100 feet per second and seal improvements on both. So some basic internal upgrades there, but otherwise nice sleepers. Definitely can't tell from the outside that they've been messed with. So I like doing sleepers personally because I generally like the look of a lot of blasters stock. I just want them to work better. So I actually like some sleeper mods. So that's a good basic sleeper mod for both of those. What do you guys think about sleepers?
Not my style. I prefer to paint things and go for it on the cosmetics.
I have a soft spot in my heart for sleepers. I have one of my team, Jay, Wlmp. He had me build him a sleeper Strife, which looks completely stock externally, but has a beating heart with rhinos and worker wheels, so you can put it on 2S, or if you put on the slightly extended battery stock that I built for him, you can run it on 3S and it'll do pretty much any Britnerf game that you want to, other than the super high FPS ones. And I really like the fact that you can't tell it's a Strife until you get tagged with it. You can't tell it's like not completely stock until you get tagged with it. So I have a certain fondness for that. Indeed, the Raven that I showed earlier, I went to a lot of work to make that look as stock as it can be, even with the additional rapid strike pusher. But that's because I'm not so much as a heretic as to actually spray paint a Stinger Raven.
Yes, that would be sacrilege for sure. All right, I've got. So I've got one here. We'll look at this one, and then I'm gonna do a refresh, and we'll try to find some more recent posts. But before we do that, this is from Ross Barber. He says it's been sitting on a shelf gathering dust for 3 years, but he's going to try and get it finished soon. This looks like a Strife Turion.
Yeah, I think there's an interesting thing about this blaster, if I remember correctly. I don't know, Ross isn't in the chat, but he started building this a long time ago, and it has a Raspberry Pi in it, and he'd set up a Twitter account. And the blaster, there was a button on the blaster and a camera mounted. And when he tagged people, his plan was to press the button. It would then take a picture and tweet the picture to a Twitter account, which would be the blaster's tag account. So every time he tagged somebody, he'd hit the button, take a picture of them, and then it would be tweeted. And it was if he got tagged,
that sounds like Ross.
Yeah,
that's a fantastic idea.
I think he'd spent more time than he'd probably care to say working on that, and I think that's why it ended up on his shelf. I think it's that blaster. I may be wrong, but that was definitely a plan of his. I think it's that one. But yeah.
Well, this one definitely has a ton of wiring going on in the back end, so I wouldn't be surprised if this was it.
Yeah, so he'd have a Wi-Fi module in there as well, which will sync up to his phone, and they will tweet out from his phone every time he tags someone, which is just a genius idea.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that idea. I would definitely follow that Twitter account.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I am going to do a little reload here. Do you guys have any projects you want to show off while we're waiting for my slow computer?
Yeah. Well, we're not in the workshop, so we don't have anything with us.
Well, I mean, I do have a couple of your projects, well, stuff that you've done, because this is how the BritNF community works. So I think you did these for FoamFest last year. Well, that went terribly. They are the Sweet Revenges. They're the Harley and Joker ones that you did. Now these were bought by Jaeger, who's another BritNF, but he traded me them for some additional work, and these now are being used by Wlmp, who's another member of our team, and she absolutely loves these. But I love them for the cosmetic work. They're just a really nice, clean, and the colorways, they work really nicely. I've got a lot of time for all the work that's gone into them. They're a really simple build, but they're also really nicely done. And it's a fantastic example of your guys' work, frankly, which is another reason why I wanted to own them.
Yeah, we did a few of them for the Comic Con. We do a lot of the comic theme stuff when we do the Comic Cons. So yeah, we did a batch of Joker and Harley and Batman and Superman and Spider-Man and Wonder Woman,
yeah,
Deadpool, all sorts of different ones. In a kind of similar vein to that, but
I'm just going to show this off again because I'm so happy with how this has come out. So nice.
The Fortnite mag looks great in that.
Yeah, I mean, I went to the Battle of BritNF last year, and basically, as I said to people, look, I'm going to be doing this bolter kit. Does anybody have any of these Fortnite mags that you don't want? And I ended up with like 4 or 5 of them just by trading them 18 sticks that I had like loads of. So I actually have enough to do like a 3-in-1 rig for that. But speaking of the pulse rifle that Al brought up earlier, I'm not even sure I can get this in frame because this thing's huge. Yeah, I definitely can't get it all in frame. But yeah. So this is a rapid strike. It's been done in Cobra military grey and black, military green and black. And this is a 3D printed solid. It's their prototype for their rapid strike front end, which they've said that they're going to be releasing for about 3 years. And I bought it from them at last End War. Super happy with that particular build. And that's had a 3D printed stock added to the end, because when you just have the standard rapid strike stock, it looks terribly anemic compared to this huge bulbous front end.
It looks very front heavy without that.
Yeah, I've also seen you use that one. Yeah, it's massive.
But it's hilarious though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things I love about this hobby as opposed to something like airsoft or what have you. Like running around with faintly ridiculous equipment is kind of part of the fun.
Absolutely. So I've got a project loading up here, or a few of them actually, from Aaron Schoolmeisters. He says, here's a few of my Tamaska, the red and silver one, or Tamaska, I'm not sure, has 11 blasters in it. So let's take a look. I know this one came up earlier in an earlier stream. The Mastodon with the Centurion stock and barrel attached to it. Looks like a long shot build. Okay, so here's the one coming up here that's got 11 blasters in it. And let's see if we can figure out what all is in here. Right off the bat, I can see a Praxis stock and Praxis barrel. obviously the rough cut. I think I see the slide from a Maverick on top. What else can you guys pick out there?
There's probably just lots of little bits tucked in here and there. And
is Barron on the bottom of that? I'm trying to figure out what that master key is. I think it's a Baron.
Oh, the master key is a rough cut.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's right underneath.
I'm catching flack in chat for wearing sunglasses. I'm wearing sunglasses because I'm actually at home with suspected coronavirus, and one of my symptoms is light sensitivity. It sucks.
Don't say that word.
Don't say the word.
Ah! I said the word.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. We'll keep going. So let's see. I know he's in the chat. Maybe he can tell us what other blasters are in there. It definitely looks very nice. It's very clean with the paint and everything. I love the paint scheme, and I love just how clean the whole thing looks.
Yeah.
I also want to know what the internals are.
Yeah, I'm sure that was on the Reddit integration competition maybe last year. And yeah, there was just lots of little parts here and there, and yeah, it was really ingenious how it all goes together.
I noticed another thing too. He's got an iPhone charger plugged in there with the cord disappearing behind it, and then lights coming out of it. I wonder if that's plugged in somehow. Are you guys seeing that?
We do have a list in the chat of what's in it.
Yep. So there's a Brute, a rough cut, a Praxis. Sorry, you go ahead.
To do this. A crossbolt, a long shot front gun, a Legend Fire barrel, the Aero Fury, the Retaliator, and the Recon. That looks really pretty.
Wow. I was wrong about the Maverick slide. What is that on top there? Is that Is that the Retaliator part?
Could be, yeah.
It's something with a rail. Oh, crossbolt. Yep. Okay, crossbolt. Sergeant Sriracha just said that's the crossbow part. That's correct. That's the slide from the crossbow. Okay, got it.
So inside, it's running a solenoid with Valkyries and a 42 cage.
Nice.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah.
I mean, that's Mr. Nathan kind of complexity right there.
That is really nice. Let's I wanted to look at this top one too. So same guy, but this looks like it's a Centurion and a long shot and something else on the front there. Crossbow barrel.
Yeah, the very tip.
I mean,
so that is definitely
the amount of work that's gone into that. That's glorious.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not a big integrator myself, but I that's only because I don't think I can do it this well.
It's great because the long shot actually just almost perfectly fits inside a Centurion. It's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I've done a few integrations, but I think the most I've used in one blaster is 4 parts from 4 blasters, I think. So yeah, going up to 11 is just crazy.
I mean, I've done one integration in my life ever, and it's a Strife Turian, and I can never open the blaster again. It's been sealed shut with epoxy putty. I just had to pray nothing inside it ever breaks because I could never open it up for maintenance ever. And I kind of like, okay, so this is not how you're supposed to do it. And I've had good advice from other members of the Britain F community about how to do it and not suck. But I haven't had any cause to try yet.
It's definitely integrations take a lot of time and patience to get them together nicely and make them look good. I mean, yeah, you can spend at least a week just doing one join at some points, with just the amount of sanding and puttying and then curing and sanding and puttying and curing and over again and filing and yeah.
Okay. So you caught me. So it's not really that I'm afraid I can't do it well. I just don't have the patience to do that.
I'm here for you, dude. I'm not a patient man, as Mel and Al will attest. I did it because I wanted to say I'd done it in the same way as I did the brass breach on the knockout. I wanted to say I'd done a brass breach, but you know, I've like, you know what, this is way more time and effort than I want, but I'm going back to flywheelers.
Well, Spectre, earlier you were talking about someone on your team that runs a sleeper strife.
That's Alias.
And this is it right here. And
yep.
Especially what I like is the fact that he's using the same 15 round magazine that I love for my loadouts. I don't know why, but 15 is, for me at least, is a good compromise between 12s not being enough and 18s slapping me in the face when I run.
See, the thing about those is they will comfortably take 17, so you're only losing one dar, and the curve just takes that extra. It just makes it that much nicer to use into your rig. They fit better. They're easier to maneuver around. I just think they're nicer in every way. I had like 12 of them, and now Jay has all of mine because I replaced mine with the F10 555P mag style. But that's because, again, I'm a massive tactical nerd.
Well, I
don't have any other hobbies, and I don't have any children. Don't judge me what I spend my money on.
It's all right. You know, this is actually an inexpensive hobby as far as hobbies go. I know people who will drop $50,000 on their car in a weekend, and that's their hobby. So
up to games with.
Look at feast upon my wall, ye mighty, and despair.
All right, I'm gonna get the next post here loading up with better pictures, and then I'm gonna show you one of my recent completed projects, almost completed. So this is, people might know that last year at End War, my blaster was the cure, because the only way to cure the zombie infection is to tag them. And so this is the I guess the partner blaster that goes with it, and it's the infection. And so I've got this custom tentacle stock. They call it the Elder Gods kit from Duke of Foam. And the magazine is only in there for a demonstration purpose, but the one I'm actually going to use is going to be the Worker 15. And I have custom blaster wraps for the magazine that give it sort of this really cool bubble texture, and then have my logo on it as well. And then the front of it will actually say the infection, if you can see that.
That's good.
And then this light up here, because I want to be able to use it for night missions. This light is actually going to be replaced with one that's exactly like this, except it'll be green metal, and it'll have a green LED in it. And then it's a sub 100 lumen light, so I can use it without blinding zombie players, which is not nice. So it also has a hidden voltmeter in here. It's a green voltmeter, and it is Kraken motors with Inferno flywheels. Yes, in an OFP Aurora cage, which is a 42.5 millimeter cage, I think. And then I've got custom printed to match the rev trigger and the mag release. And then I'm thinking about doing something different with the barrel too, but we'll see about that one.
I love that. Can I see the stock again, Ben?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Oh, that's so cool.
So it has like tentacle suckers.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's a little hard to see in the video, just because of my lighting. If I turn down my lighting here, maybe you can see it better.
Yeah.
But
So cool.
yeah, it is very awesome. So he normally doesn't print in any color. I think he's got like orange and black and maybe a couple other colors, but I specifically requested this color because I wanted it, again, it's called the infection. So I wanted it to sort of bring up that idea of being a sort of diseased look almost. And no, none of this stuff with the word we won't say was happening back when I started this project.
Yeah.
Okay, I said it once, but I think I got away with it.
Yep. I don't think it got detected.
I've got
So
a couple
what
of
I would
blasters here. We recently got sent a couple of you were talking about the blaster wraps there. We got a couple of custom blaster wraps sent to us called blaster wraps, which were quite cool. So they've got the Monkeytron logo on them.
See, the blaster wrap singer again is one of those things where I don't have the patience. I think I would end up putting the blaster out a window.
They definitely do take a bit of time to stick on, but
it's worth it to take your time with it.
Yeah, and I think it's good for
I think
people
a lot of kids
don't want to paint, or they can't access the right equipment to paint with. Then it's good they can do something different with their blaster without having to invest a lot of money into paint.
Oh, absolutely! I think they're a fantastic solution. I just don't think it's for me.
Yeah.
I think what's cool, I think, about blaster wraps is that it opens up that section of cosmetic modding where normally to have a design like that, you either have to hand paint or you're talking about hydro dipping, which not everybody has the skill to do. And so it kind of opens that up to people who normally wouldn't even be able to participate in that. Now, if you do have, if you're comfortable hand painting or hydro dipping, then definitely do that. But I think blaster wraps are a cool option for if that's not your cup of tea.
Yeah.
As I say, I know I don't have the patience for it, and I'm kind of sad that I don't, because I have seen some really nice designs that they do.
Mm-hmm.
Spectre, you've got a question.
Do I? I think I have a thing. I'm being told I shouldn't overload magazines. I've never had any problem loading them with 17, and it's never caused me an issue. You do you.
Havoc Nerf says he has a question for Spectre. Why paint with the blaster assembled? Doesn't that create problems with being harder to take apart for repair?
I would generally, if I have the option to do so, take the blaster apart to paint it. But sometimes, so the bolt gun that I showed earlier, I put the major 3D printed parts that are all staying together and then painted it, because that means you get a much more even spray across the entire thing. And particularly if you're doing something like dry brushing or highlighting, something like that I would do with the blaster together. Obviously your main sort of spray paint, I would do a shell split, but if you're doing dry brushing, you want to do that with the blaster in its completed form, because then the dry brush cover goes over the entire blaster and you get a consistent paint effect.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying about doing weathering effects, because weathering generally is going to catch the edges of things. And if the blaster is in pieces, you're going to be catching all that entire edge between the shells with your weathering. Whereas when you put it together, now you're going to be going over the top of that. So would you guys agree with that?
Yeah, for dry brushing, they'll then tend to put the two halves of the shell together and dry brush it as a whole, just as I said, to get a definitely more even effect. But yeah, for everything else, for priming and spraying and everything else, it's always a butterfly.
So that can lead to issues of its own, of course, in that sometimes you can't take some of the internals out of the blaster. So then what you would do is you take masking tape and mask off the entire inside, so that anything that moves isn't going to get gummed up with overspray.
So I've got another project loaded up here. This is from Joe Santos, and he has a body-mounted magazine loader, which basically to me looks like an Infinus pulled apart. And then he's got
definitely an Infinus bit.
Some kind of is that Velcro so he can stick it to Velcro? He has something stuck all over the back.
Off his mags. Is that what that is?
Right. So he basically just took out the magazine loading mechanism of an Infinus so that he can attach it to his body. But I can't tell for sure, but it looks like this is the hook side of Velcro so that he can stick it to like a vest or something in whatever orientation he wants.
That's cool. I know there's one of the guys
just covered it.
There was one of the guys in the Ace Strike Force, one of the teams here in the UK. He took the loading mechanism from the Infinus and mounted it onto a box where he keeps his darts. And so he just plugs the mag into the thing and loads his mags and cycles them through. So he's got all the darts handy, and then the magazine loader attached to the box. And if he's dart sweeping, takes the box, fills it with darts, and can just top off the mags with the Infinus loader.
If you want something done quickly and efficiently, ask a lazy person. I think that's brilliant. I have an Infinus waiting on a project that again is one of those that I've had since End War. I had the Containment Crew wheels and cage, and I got the Infinus version, and it's still waiting because it's another one of those where when you take it apart and you look at all the circuitry inside and you go, I can't. There's too many wires, and obviously you've got to figure out what you need to take apart and what to put the buck converter on and all of that. And I every time I've taken it to bits, I've been like, nope, can't face that today. Come back to something simpler.
So it looks like I was right. It is wrapped in Velcro. He did comment, and I found it. He commented that it's wrapped in Velcro so that he can stick it to things.
Yeah. That's a very cool idea. I like that. I like this guy. He was the black box guy as well.
Yeah.
He's my kind of guy.
What's the
while I'm loading up the next one here, one of the things that people are commenting on a lot in the YouTube comments is my comment about this being an inexpensive hobby. Obviously, if you want to spend more money, I mean, you could gold plate your blaster and make it, however expensive you want. What I mean by that is, if you compare it to other hobbies, particularly other shooting sports, whether you're getting into airsoft or something like that. I mean, like people talk about the FDL3 being over $400. I tried to get into airsoft a while back, and I had to spend that much just on a basic gun, airsoft gun with no other accessories, because I wanted something that was made out of metal, not plastic. So definitely you can spend a lot of money on the hobby, but what I guess I'm trying to say is that your entry point is a lot lower, and
the entry point.
The entry point is way lower. If you have the money and want to spend it, you can definitely spend more. But that's basically what I was getting at with that is you can do a lot of this stuff and spend under $100 on a moderately modified blaster. If you want to get into airsoft, you're spending way more than that.
That person that spent the $100 and hasn't spent a lot of money is just an effective player as the person that spent $1,000.
Yeah, you don't.
Especially in HVZ.
You can spend $20 and join in any game.
Yeah, I know a guy who goes to HVZ events and doesn't own a blaster, and he just goes with either socks or he plays as an OZ.
Yeah, I mean, you can pick up one of those the Chaos lines, the X-Shock Chaos blasters, 100 FPS out the box for what probably they were going for £10 here in the UK recently. Yeah.
Yes, and you have the X-Shot Turbo Advance, one of my favorites.
You pick one of them up for dirt cheap and be a competitive player up to 100 FPS or even at 130 FPS.
Absolutely.
The X-Shot Turbo Advance will do 90 FPS out of the box with AccuFake darts. You can go to any, certainly in the UK, you can go to any game in the country and play with that and to be effective. Any of the sort of 100, 130 games, there's, as much as people talk about FPS as your guiding limit, there's actually not a huge amount of difference in range between 100 and 130 and 130 and 150. There's really not. And if you're willing to put in that little bit of extra, I have a voice in my head.
I hear it too.
Okay, good. I'm not having a stroke.
So we are getting towards the end of our stream here.
Yeah.
Okay. So really quick, before we head out, we're going to have a slide come up, and these are the various sponsors of World's Largest Mod Party. They are providing a bunch of different prizes, door prizes, and so on. So that'll come up here in a second. Really quickly, just going to mention a few things that popped up in the chat. Somebody said he's been shot many times by a sneaky kid with a jolt, even when he's running his FDL, and that's absolutely true. A lot of times, people tend to underestimate those who seem under-equipped. So yeah, you can definitely be competitive even with almost nothing. So
yeah.
And I know from experience, it's actually really hard to hit Suez with anything.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true. Especially when he's got with shield. But yeah, so I mean, coming back to what I was saying, you know, the thing about the hobby is, as you say, the entry barrier is close to non-existent, and that's why I think this hobby is going to keep going, even with all of the stress and all of the hassle that's happening in the world at the moment. The hobby's still going to be here afterwards.
Absolutely.
Well, I like that, because you, as somebody who you clearly spend a lot of money on the hobby.
Yep.
So
no doubt.
Yeah. So we're showing kind of all sides, really.
All right. So the first thing that we've got here to talk about, Flywheel the World is giving away a Flywheel the World Nexus blaster, which is awesome. If you guys don't know about this, it's a very cool solenoid-driven micro flywheel blaster that uses the Flywheel the World micro flywheels and hyperdrive solenoid. They're going to be giving it away fully assembled and wired in semi-auto configuration. And it's going to have the grip and chassis in black or white. So similar to what you see pictured there, I think. And then the winner gets to choose the colors of the shell. It'll be serial number 5, because currently this isn't something that, I don't think this is something that you can buy right now. So this will be the first number that's made available to the public. So that is very cool. Battery is not included, so you'll have to provide that yourself. But yeah, that's a really cool prize. Spectre, you want to take this one? Even though this is the different Spectre?
Yeah, this is the other Spectre, the Australian one that makes cool HPA things. This is a one-of-a-kind red sandblasted anodized Specs BZ. Oh, yeah, see, that's on my list. If my number comes up, I definitely want that, because that's in my colors.
Very cool. Very cool. So thank you from Spectre Armaments for that. Who wants to take this one?
Nobody told me that when I volunteered. Son of a...
So Spectre has just learned through the voice in our heads that he's not eligible to win any of the prizes, unfortunately, because he's a host.
Oh well,
but that's okay.
Worth it to be here.
I'm not eligible either. So next up we have
string.
Go ahead.
Next up we have the 6-string scar from Blaster Take, the Mark II scar. It's adjustable scar in the winner's choice of size.
Very cool. Thank you to Blaster Tech for that. Out of Darts is going to be giving away 3 of the Percy's hoppers. This is a drop-in extended hopper that increases the capacity of the Percy's. And it definitely does match the look of the blaster itself, which is pretty cool. It comes with 2 different lid options. You can either have no lid, so if you want to use a paintball speed loader gate, you can add that, or you can have the magnetic lid option. So that's pretty cool. Awesome. Thank you to Luke from Out of Darts for providing 3 of those as prizes.
Next one on the list is a mystery box. We don't know what's in this, but it's coming from the girls at Foam Blast, so I'm sure it's going to be cool.
Mel or Al?
So next up we have a Lotus Molly kit. So this is the new magnetic fastening kits. In conjunction with the Duke of Foam, Armoured Duke Industries has combined to bring you a solution we've all wanted for our tactical gear. This bundle includes everything you'll need for a Molly attached accessory. That's the Lotus Molly kit. That's the kind of magnetic holster kit.
Yeah, so for people who are familiar with the Holster system, it is compatible, fully compatible with that. So that's pretty cool. Next up, for door prize number 9, we have a lifetime supply of K26 spring provided by Blaster Time. So some of you know Kine. He's a very cool guy who owns Blaster Time, and he's going to be giving away a lifetime supply of K26. I don't know exactly what that means. It says conditions apply. So I don't know whose lifetime he's talking about. Spectre, you want to take this one?
Yeah, so this was another one on my list of things before I realized I was not eligible. This is a Caliburn hardware kit. It includes global shipping, so it doesn't matter where you are in the world. Captain Slug will send you a Caliburn hardware kit anywhere in the world, and you don't have to give him money.
Next up is a Rapid Strike upgrade kit from the guys at Containment Crew. It's a Rapid Strike switch plate, 3 Valkyrie motors, a pair of Inferno wheels, 3 snap action switches, 5 inches of wire, a Containment Crew cage, and an XT60 connector. So everything you need to trick out a Rapid Strike from the guys at Containment Crew.
That's going to hit like a truck.
So speaking of mystery boxes, we have another one from nerfcrig.dk. They're giving away a mystery box. Once again, we have no idea what's in it, but I really hope that people will post pictures of what they got once they receive the mystery box. That would be cool.
This one's there is a little bit more to this. It's not just a mystery box. It's specifically a mystery blaster. This one.
Oh, there you go.
It will definitely be something that flings foam.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we have a bunch of mystery boxes. I think we skipped over 13 there. Can we get 13 back? All right, so Pandemonium is giving away the mystery box of mystery. So I guess this is double the mystery in this box.
Our good friends at Project FDL giving away a mystery box. No indication as to what's in it, but it's Project FDL. Let's see what we can.
It's going to be good stuff. We know that.
Yeah, they do excellent swag and excellent blasters.
And from Captain Xavier, we have a Jolt, but not just any Jolt. This has been autographed by the captain himself.
Bangarang.
Awesome. Next up, Worst Werfer is giving away a pair of Worst Werfer flywheels. Door prize number 16. Awesome. So those are all the door prizes that are going to be given away later on. I believe those are going to be given away during the final segment. Am I right about that? I think so. Yes. Okay. So during the final segment.
When is that almighty voice in our head?
So 3
That's going
p.m.
to be at 3
Pacific
p.m.
time.
Pacific time.
Awesome. So definitely tune in for that, because you are going to want to see who is winning and see if it was you. And I believe you have to be present in the stream to win. I might be wrong about that as well, but I think I'm remembering correctly. But definitely be watching to keep an eye on that. Well, guys, I think that was good. We went through a lot of different projects. I know that we didn't get everybody's, and unfortunately, even with a 48-hour stream, we can't cover everything, but I think we did a good job covering a bunch of different things, showing off some of our own projects as well. So yeah, awesome. Thank you everybody for joining us in the chat and sending in your questions and your comments. And a big thank you to Mel and Al for joining all the way from the other side of the planet, and Spectre as well, other side of the planet. Awesome that we were able to make that all work, because it is challenging, as we all know. But yeah, thank you everybody for joining the stream and following along with us and taking a look at all this stuff.
Enjoy the
See you
rest
later.
of it.
Right. Thanks to
Yes,
Wlmp.
absolutely.
Bye.
Fest Live.